as you know, I've been waiting for this moment for quite some time. Today, hang on a minute, what's my rule on when I'm playing Tom Waits albums? That's better. I finally get a chance to play one of my favourite Tom Waits albums, if not my favourite, Frank's Wild Years. Bought for me by my daughter Ashley at Christmas. This is the album that I actually fell in love with Tom Waits. Prior to this, I'd heard Closing Time and Heart Attack and Vine. My mate used to have them on tape cassette and used to play them in the car when we was at work. And I loved them. I liked them a lot. But one day we went to work. We had a little swap of tapes. I was listening to Arthur Lee's Love, Forever Changes, which he also really liked. And he was listening to Frank's Wild Years. And I think I might have mentioned this on my channel before. I played it over and over at work that day while we was working. And on the way home, I went to Adrian's Records and bought the CD. And the rest is history. I absolutely love Tom Waits. And this was the one that really fueled me to dig in and find more. So, Frank's Wild Years was released August 17th, 1987. And it's the 9th studio album by Tom Waits. Released on Island Records. And this is the end of the thematic trilogy of albums. Swordfishtrombones, 1983, being the first. And the title, Frank's Wild Years, is a track on that album. The second, obviously, is the classic Rain Dogs, 1985. And all three albums have experimental styles, free-flowing lyrics, and European sounds about homeless bums, desperate barroom drunks, seedy crooners with a German sort of feel to it, pre-World War II, and the lonely losers with high hopes and dreams and not a chance of getting out of their sad, miserable lives. Each song is like a little film, and Tom acts his heart out on every single track. Frank's Wild Years is subtitled Un Operace Romantico in 2 acts. So obviously side 1's the first act, side 2 the second. The album is an adaptation of a stage play he wrote and performed, written with his wife Kathleen Brennan. And all 3 of these albums appear on the concert movie Big Time, 1988. If you can find yourself a copy, it's pretty hard to get hold of. Should be on Blu-ray by now, really. They should get a release on it. And also, there was a live album as well. And that's well worth checking out. It's got, like, when you see Tom, he always does a song slightly different. So that's why it's a unique experience every time you go and see him. Yeah, so definitely worth checking out Big Time. So basically, it tells a story about a drifter named Frank who slowly loses grip on reality. So, should we get this on the turntable? I've been dying to play it. Let's do this. Obviously, you know this isn't new. Very hard to find one sealed these days, but it is in mint condition. Look at that cover. How perfect is that? Beautiful. So, okay, he's put it in one. So that's the original inner sleeve. A little bit discoloured, but still intact. And here is. Oh, that's perfect, guys. Look. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Tom Waits. Frank's Wild Years. Look at that. How nice. Wow. I'm almost going to burst. I do love a bit of Tom, as you know. So, as always, I'll be back in a little while. This was amazing. That sounded the nuts. Well, I'm going to have to use my normal glasses. Can't see for shit otherwise, can I? Right. So, let's go through the tracks. Hang On St. Christopher kicks off the album nicely. With distorted vocals sang through a megaphone. in a sort of a claustrophobic style that seems to dominate the whole album. And the horn section to me, it reminds me of the old Dragnet. You know, it's just like them old TV detective films from the 50s. I don't know. Brilliant, brilliant opening track. And then it goes into Straight to the Top, Rhumba. This is a little bit over the top. It's like a swing band parody of Frank Sinatra. But brilliant, brilliant rhythm section on it. And Tom was growling away like he does. Track 3, Blow, Wind, Blow. Strange arrangement involving 2 pump organs, a horn and a glockenspiel. I think there was a music video to this one actually. I can't really remember. Yeah, I think there was. Great stuff. Right, now it really does kick in with this next song, Temptation. My mate got me to play it once in a record shop on a Saturday. Well, it didn't go down too cleverly with the boss. But anyway, Tom Waits does a howling falsetto, or in his words, his Prince voice. And he does the backing vocals as well, and it sounds really, really strained, like a chronically depressed yodeler giving birth. But it is amazing. It really is something else. Track 5, Innocent When You Dream, Barroom. And this is a bit of a dewy-eyed song, done in the true Broadway fashion, both funny and sad. This is a classic. What a gem. Track 6, I'll Be Gone. And Tom Waits opens up doing an impersonation of a rooster. And it sounds so good. I actually thought it sounded very similar at the beginning of the Beatles. Good morning, good morning. This is a great down and dirty, dark humoured growl. Bloody brilliant. And it summons the life of a crazy drunk husband, hopeless in his current situation and yearning for a bigger, better life somewhere. Bloody brilliant song, that one. I'll Be Gone. Track 7, Yesterday Is Here. This is an exceptional portrayal of endless doom and gloom, with a perfect chorus that offsets a quivering vocal. Today's grey sky, tomorrow's tears. You'll have to wait till yesterday's here. Oh, it's a very haunting song. Beautiful, beautiful. Track 8, Please Wake Me Up. Now, it sounds like everything's out of time and awkward, but when Tom starts singing in a really soft, kind of weak voice, completely out of character for Tom Waits, obviously, well, that's when the whole thing sort of comes together, and the music envelopes him so beautifully. Truly clever, but sounds like it's really off-key at the beginning. And side 1 finishes off with track 9, Frank's Theme. And this is Tom just crooning on an old pump organ. Dream away the tears in your eyes. Bloody lovely. Yeah. So, on to Act 2. Act 2 opens up with More Than Rain. It's like a more sober, mid-pace one, and this is one of my faves. And it has a very French European sound with the instruments they're using, you know, the accordions and stuff like that. Love the lyrics. There's no dead presidents we can fold. Nothing is going our way. Bloody brilliant song. Right. Next up comes Way Down in the Hole. Can I get an amen? And this is done in the sort of style of Temptation, really. And it evokes images of a crazy preacher. I don't know if you ever see the film Crimes of Passion with Anthony Perkins stood on the corner, sweating, wide-eyed and, you know, preaching. Well, it kind of evokes that, and he's sort of saying to you, the devil will take you way down in the hole. Another classic, favourite of mine. This one is absolutely a favourite of mine. Love it. Right. Now, this is the second version of Straight to the Top on this album. And this one sounds like Tom Waits doing a karaoke and going completely all out. Completely different version from the one on track side 1. But I think I prefer this one out of the two. Bloody brilliant. Next up is I'll Take New York. And this is where Tom takes it to a new level. And I love it when he sings, I'm gonna take New York. Completely believing in himself. Bloody, truly uplifting. Terrific stuff. Terrific. Then, Telephone Call from Istanbul. And this brings us back to normal growly Waits territory. Surreal lyrics with a great hook. Never trust a man in a blue trench coat and never drive a car when you're dead. Bloody brilliant. And this is great. And the version that's on Big Time is something to behold. You definitely got to hear it. And if you get a chance, like I said, see it. Terrific. And then Cold Ground. This is Tom's songwriting at its very best. And it has an old Western feel to it, you know, with the music, the instruments they're using on it. And actually, this was actually misprinted on the CD. It says on here, Cold Ground, C-A-L-L. So, don't know why that was a misprint, but it is what it is, I guess. Then comes Train Song. This is a sad ballad with a smooth pump organ, and Tom sounds like he's almost going to burst into tears when he sings the lyric, it's a train that took me away from here, but a train can't bring me home. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And the album finally closes with Innocent When You Dream, 78. And this revisits the song that was on side 1, but it's done more in a crackly old style, a little bit more fuzzy. Maybe a little bit reflective. Possibly. I actually think this album's really underrated. It does take a few plays. I mean, I was quite fortunate the way I discovered it. I was at work, I had headphones and I was working. So I had about 4 or 5 plays that afternoon. Yeah, so I was hooked straight away. But it does take, you know, a lot of people say, well, it ain't quite as good as Swordfish Trombone and Rain Dogs. I put them all on sort of a, well, if anything, I kind of raise this one slightly. Tom Waits' Frank's Wild Years. A Wonderful Carnival of Broken Dreams. Yeah, it's beautiful. So, what do I play next? Heart Attack and Vine. Shall I undo Alice? Well, it's nice to have a few over there. And I've got a couple of the bootleg ones. Or actually, Bounce Checks I've played. I couldn't resist. With some different early versions on. Quite nice. And I'll tell you what I did get. I was really fortunate to find on the internet Frank's Wild Demos. It's only a few tracks. I don't know, 7 possibly. A couple of instrumentals. But it's got a superb version. Stripped back and raw version of Hang On St. Christopher and Temptation. Completely different versions. This is why he's so bootlegged, like Prince, you know. They're not officially out there, but if you're Tom Waits hungry like the fans are, and he does compare us all to wild packs, and that's why he just gives us a little tease, he's quite clued up. And I do believe that's why Big Time isn't released on DVD or Blu-ray. I mean, Criterion could totally bring out Big Time. They done Down by Law, a Jim Jarmusch film, which Tom Waits starred in. That would be so bloody excellent. It really would be awesome. You know what I mean? Probably digitally remastered, all singing, all dancing. Wow. A pleasure to behold. Yeah. So that's it really for today, guys. Love playing Frank's Wild Years on vinyl. I now have the trilogy. Well chuffed about that. I'll be sorting out other Tom Waits albums as and when. You know, no particular order now, although I do think my next buy will probably be Mule Variations and Bad As Me. Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, thanks for watching, people. I'll be back with another ramble real soon. Listen to Tom Waits.